On this day, I took a break from the library to clear my head. The next thing, this girl comes to preach to me about hope. At that point, it didn't make sense to me because it felt like my life was going pretty well. But trust that the next day, it became the opposite. And I don't know if that was a coincidence, but it just points to the fact that, happiness is transient.
I did this thing where I asked some of my friends, like in school, what makes you happy? But people had like a variety of answers. A simple Google search of how to be happy, happiness, will give you like over 2 million plus results. According to a Greek philosopher, Aristotle, the goal of life is to experience maximum amounts of pleasure, and happiness is the totality of one's hedonic moments bar negative experiences. Hedonic moments basically mean like things that give you pleasure. I believe that happiness is ultimately subjective, but there has to be like a baseline definition that we can agree on. According to psychologists Ryan and Dechi, happiness can be measured by 3 factors: the presence of positive emotions, absence of negative emotions, and life satisfaction. Then when you go to Oxford Dictionary, they are saying happiness is the feeling of being happy. Of course, that is not helping us with that. So we can acknowledge that happiness is a feeling. Your aim in life is to sort of maximize those activities that make you happy. In Indo-European languages, which English originated from, happiness has always been luck. For them, it was just like only a few people can be blessed with happiness, and those few people are the lucky ones. And it sort of makes sense to me that maybe that constant high level of happiness is only for a select few. But science is saying that happiness is not for a select few, and we're going to go with what science is saying. Happiness has been a major focus of intense scientific study. Positive psychology, there are 2 schools of thought on happiness: eudaimonic happiness, hedonic happiness. Christopher's that I mentioned before, he's taller than hedonic happiness, and what he's basically saying is that pleasurable things give me happiness. Happiness and pleasure are basically one and the same. Eudaimonic happiness, that is where you see like philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, Socrates. Aristotle is saying hedonic happiness is vulgar. Humans are slavish followers of desire. True happiness is found in the expression of virtue, that is, doing what is worth doing. Aristotle believes in virtue so much. Aristotle, they cannot teach you how to be virtuous. It is innate. You either have it or don't. I feel like they both go hand in hand. You can't just carry eudaimonic happiness and live hedonic happiness. Sonia Lyubomirsky, in a paper, was sort of like a happiness pie chart. According to them, 50% of happiness based on genes, 10% based on life circumstances that you have no control over. The remaining 40%, it is in your hands. You guys, you can be happy. Like, it is possible for you to influence your own happiness. There are some people that are like, oh, like, do you really need to chase happiness, blah blah blah? Can you actually increase your own level of happiness by yourself? Yes, you can. Guys, nothing like sadness anymore, because you can be happy. Mind blowing. One thing you need to know is that hedonic pleasures, they don't last long. Once you buy a new phone, after the initial high goes, you are thinking of what next you want. Even after experiencing a high from a positive experience or even a negative experience, you are going back down to that base level happiness. Kitowski argues that focusing on comfort is joyless.
This is because he believes that individuals will eventually adapt to them. Instead, we should spend money on joyful things which yield continual fascination, challenge, and fulfillment, like the pleasures of meeting good friends or backpacking through a gorgeous landscape.
1, you focus on activities that actually fit your personality. Don't do things because everybody is doing them. 2, variety is the spice of life. Do things different ways. Don't keep doing one thing one way. There is no way. It will not help. As with everything in life, happiness is not just going to dump on your head. You have to put in effort to be happy. Put in effort to do those activities that are ultimately going to make you happy. Partaking in dynamic activities that require consistent effort, like picking a study goal, like, oh, I want to achieve this GPA, as opposed to a circumstance change, like, okay, maybe you're not in the best hostel and you get a new hostel. You're going to be initially happy when you get that hostel, don't get me wrong, but with time you're going to adapt to it. Focus on activities that you know that you're going to get something new from, like going out alone. Like, there's a higher chance of you seeing newer things,